So, Preston, you brought me today a list of spring home maintenance things.
That's right. It is spring, although it doesn't
Well,
seem like it too much, does it?
Not today.
Not today. Yesterday, a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit about some of the things on the inside. You mean the weather changed on the inside?
No, but I'll tell you what, North Carolina, you can get all 4 seasons in about 24 hours. Well, let's I had a list here, checklist. I thought it'd be good. And that first one may segue into the other thing we were talking about. But the first one on the list is to check your electrical outlets for potential fire hazards, such as frayed wires, loose fitting plugs. Make sure your outlets, fuse boxes or breaker boxes would probably be more apropos, and extension cords are not overloaded. So,
well, what is the definition of an overloaded extension? Has it got 2 adapters on it and 7 plugs?
Surge protectors and everything plugged off of that. Yeah, unfortunately, if you live in an older house, they didn't require as many plugs. So then people run multiple plugs. And if you can go to your breaker box and you can hear it humming, and that humming is that breaker just wanting to trip.
It's not singing you a song?
Yeah, that's not a good thing. So basically, check all your outlets. Make sure they're not loose. Make sure you're not overloaded on any particular one, and check your breaker box and make sure that's not humming. But could we segue into our other thing while we're talking about that and come back to the spring maintenance?
Please, seg away.
Segue, yeah. Let's talk about GFCI outlets while we're at it.
GFCI.
Yeah, GFCI is an acronym for ground fault circuit interrupters.
Yeah,
These
definitely interrupt.
These are those outlets you see with a little button on it. And if you have a house built in the 1960s or 50s or anything like that, it wasn't required. So I want to talk a little bit about that. The purpose of these is to keep us from being shocked or electrocuted. Slightly different for the purpose of a breaker. A breaker is to keep your house from burning down. And what that is, if you have an overloaded outlet or something that's going to create a lot of heat that could generate a fire, that breaker is going to trip. The way a ground fault circuit interrupter works is it monitors the voltage, and if there's any variation in that voltage, it trips them. So the idea was if you had electricity near water, it would quickly trip it before you got shocked or electrocuted. Do we want to go through some of the dates? Or?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so the most common one is, and this comes back on the home inspection report all the time, oh, you didn't have any GFCI breakers in the bathroom. Well, what year was the house built?
You just did a house for me that didn't have any outlets in the bathroom.
It did, oh, okay. Well,
It used to be in the light fixture.
oh, wow, nice.
You
What
remember
year was
those
this
kind
out?
of-
Yeah, and you had a whole bunch of extension cords and everything running off of that. And you had to turn the light on with a little chain.
Well, we didn't need it back then. Hair dryer was.
Yeah, there
shaped
really
like a
weren't
towel.
that many. Yeah, there weren't that
And the
many.
razors weren't electric.
Right. We didn't have a whole lot of outlets. But anyway, let's go through this. In 1975, GFCI outlets were required in the bathroom and outside receptacles. So anything built after 1975, it should have them. If it was built before then, it's not required. It's certainly a good idea, but you can't make somebody, like in a home inspection, change them unless they do a major remodel, over $30,000, or they add an addition. Then that is going to be required to be brought up to today's code.
Okay.
1981 is within 10 foot of a spa or a hot tub. Again, it's the water. You don't want live electricity. You want it to be able to click off immediately.
So if you jump in with a toaster, it'll unplug.
That's right. There's a couple of horror movies that ended that way, and I was like, was that house built before 1981? That shouldn't have happened. The GFCI should have tripped. But anyway, 1987, GFCI is required in basements and kitchens within 6 foot of the kitchen sink. And that's kind of important because later it's all kitchens counters. But from 1987 until 1996, it was just required within 6 foot of a sink. 1990, it's required in crawl spaces. Crawl spaces. Yeah, so that if you got a light or something, you're going to have an outlet in there. Now, the one thing that's kind of funky about this is if you've got a sump pump plugged into this, which is designed to get water out of your crawl space, you need to check that periodically and make sure that the outlet that it's plugged into hasn't tripped. And now you're getting, water in your crawl space that's not being dumped out as it should. Yeah.
That seems kind of.
Counter or something. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. It's just something you need to check every so often.
So just pour some water down into your sump pump and make sure it's going, or check the
Yeah,
GFCI.
or if you.
The hard part, Preston, is sometimes the GFCI outlet that actually has the button on it is in a different part of the house than where the one. You know what I'm saying?
Good. I'm glad you brought that up, Paul. A lot of times there'll be 2 or 3 outlets downstream from the GFCI, like much in the bathroom. So you got an outlet that's not working, but there's no button on that. It's actually another button upstream. That one with a button may control 2 or 3 outlets. So you've got to find where that button is. And we get calls all the time after we move in. My outlet, my bathroom, I can't dry my hair. It's not working. The outlet, can you check this? And I'm like, I have to talk them through it. And I'm like, before I come out there, do me this favor. Go in all your bathrooms, look for one with a button on it. It may or may not have a light on it. Push that reset. And they're like, oh, yeah, cool.
So how many times do you think that happens a month?
Yeah, at least once a week.
Yeah,
once
it
a week.
happens. Yeah, it happens. It's in the garage, too.
Oh yeah, and you better be careful in the garage because when you got a freezer full of meat there, sometimes that can be a bad thing when they trip and they without power for a couple of days. But anyway, to close it out, 1993's wet bar sinks, and 1996 is grade level at unfinished accessory buildings like outbuildings. All outdoor receptacles and all countertops in the kitchen. So anywhere on the kitchen where there's a countertop should have a GFCI outlet, but you don't want the one for the refrigerator, and that shouldn't be on the counter. So that, because you want constant power too. You don't want something to trip your refrigeration for sure.
Yeah, so really, what's left other than bedroom receptacles in the living room?
Pretty much. And then the bedroom, after 2002, they have something called an arc fault circuit interrupter, which is a little bit different. And that's a whole different definition, but it's meant to protect you too. So, yeah, pretty soon it seems like every breaker will be on some sort of protection thing.
Okay.
And I'm for it, except that sometimes they trip.
Government.
Yeah. We had a nice discussion off the air about government control, but.
So let me just ask you this, Preston.
Sure.
A lot of times too, sticking with the outlet theme, I'll go into a bedroom and I'll see, and the old tradition was if you flip the outlet upside down, that's typically one that's for a light switch.
Right, controlled by light
Right.
switch.
Now it seems they're all upside down.
They're figuratively and literally. Yeah, that's the thing.
Are they changing some of the rules on that, or?
Well, I don't know if there's actually a rule. It was kind of to let you know. I mean, the thought was if you had a lamp plugged into an outlet, you didn't have to cross a dark room to turn on the lamp. You could turn it on by the light. But unfortunately, a lot of times people didn't realize that they were turning that on and off. And I had one of, I kept my dorm refrigerator from college. Remember that little dorm refrigerator?
Oh, yeah, I got one.
Yeah, I kept that for an end table, and it was awesome during the game. But it was plugged into one of those outlets. And inevitably, somebody hit a light switch that turned that thing off, and when you went to go get a cold brew, well, it was a hot brew. So I had to put some duct tape over that particular switch. This was long before I became a home inspector.
We had all these light switches that we had, tape over top of.
Please do not hit this switch.
Such a good impression.
Yeah. That's really good for showing. What's a duct tape for?
Yeah. Well, so much more to go to Show Your Real Estate today. Remember, if you want to talk to us, 704-570-1110, 704-570-1110. We're talking anything, everything having to do with real estate. So stay with us. We're here live in the WBT studios, the Show Your Real Estate today, here on News 1110 99.3 WBT. We'll be right back. Stay with us.